Hey everybody, welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you are all well and taking care of yourselves. So today I am hanging out with Iro, my spider ball python. He is looking great. So I was thinking about my video the other day when I was talking about people who are afraid of snakes being afraid of things like not knowing how it is that they eat. And I figured that I haven't actually covered that topic, so I figured that will be what I would talk about with you guys today. So a while ago, I did a video on something called the Jacobson's organ. It was a very short video, so I'll just give a really quick recap of what that means today, because it is a very big and important part in how a snake is capable of eating. So the Jacobson organ is an organ inside of the snake's mouth, right at the top of their mouth. So when the snake sticks out its tongue to taste the air, it gathers all sorts of information from the air, brings it back into its mouth. The Jacobson organ is able to register a lot of that information so that the snake knows if there is something nearby, like an obstacle it needs to avoid, or if there is moisture in the air, like a water source nearby, or if there is potentially dangers or even prey to be found. Once that information is taken out of the air, passed through the mouth, taken in by the Jacobson organ, the snake is then able to get a general location of where their prey is and begin their hunt. Now, how a snake hunts completely depends on the species of snakes. It varies from snake to snake and species to species, of course, also depending on where they're actually located. There are some snakes that are more nocturnal, meaning that they only hunt at night, and other snakes that are more diurnal, meaning that they will hunt during the day. And then there are some snakes that will hunt during both periods. This is also another big factor. Whether the snake is arboreal, meaning whether the snake hunts in the trees, would tend to be a bit more active, or whether the snake is terrestrial, meaning the snake spends most of his time hunting on the ground, going into burrows. Whether the snake is an active hunter or an ambush hunter is a big factor as well. While some snakes are much more active with moving through the trees or going into different burrows hunting for their food, there are other snakes that are much more content to just sit, lay, and wait for their food to come by and then strike once it gets within distance. Now, once the snake has actually tracked its food down, it now has to rely on what I think is probably one of the most impressive displays of natural abilities to be found in the animal kingdom, and that is its striking speed. How fast a snake strikes is super impressive. Think about how fast we as humans blink. Every blink we take usually lasts about 200 milliseconds, but a snake's strike can last anywhere from 44 milliseconds to 70 milliseconds, which is easily, 3 or 4 times our amount of blinking. Sorry, I'm stuttering over my words, but it's really incredibly fast, and I can't even really fathom what that would be like if we actually were capable of moving that fast, even blinking that fast. I already think that blinking is super fast, but can you imagine if we blinked as fast as a snake can strike? Super impressive. So once a snake has decided to actually strike, other physical characteristics start to take place and play. It's like their teeth. A snake's teeth are essentially their hands. They are hooked backwards in their mouth so that when they strike their prey, they grab hold of it and are able to actually pull it into themselves as they wrap and coil. It also helps them to be able to pull the prey into their mouth while they're eating. Now, this next part varies from snake to snake as well, because if we think about venomous snakes, usually it's a simple bite and release, and then they'll just kind of wait and stalk their prey as they wait for the venom to take hold and their prey to die, or they can then just swoop in and eat it. But there are other snakes, usually like pythons and boas, who actually need to grab hold of their prey, wrap around it, and constrict it, cutting off the air supply until the rodent is dead. But regardless of what method the snake uses to actually kill its prey, at the end of the day, the teeth are still involved in making sure the snake is actually able to get that prey into its mouth and down its body. But something that people don't quite understand is how things like this little tiny head gets something significantly bigger through it into the bigger part of its body. The jaw of the snake is incredibly impressive. It is made out of bone just like ours is. Only difference is it does not have a fused chin. This means that the snake can actually move either side of its jaw independently of each other. So when the snake is actually eating its prey, it is able to walk its jaw down the prey, pulling the prey in with every bite. And this is how the snake actually gets its food in its mouth and down its throat. Now, typically, when a snake actually begins eating its prey, it will actually search for the head of the prey and start from there. Why? Because it is the smallest part of the prey, and as it begins to actually take the prey into its mouth, the rest of the prey starts to squeeze itself down and align itself all the way down the body, making it easier for the snake to swallow. Once the prey is in the mouth past the teeth, it will then use the rest of its muscles to just squeeze and constrict and work that prey all the way down its body until it finally settles in the stomach. So while snakes may not have hands or fingers or anything like that, they are 100% capable of feeding themselves in some of the most impressive ways found in the animal kingdom. So something else I want to touch on is a little myth that is believed around snakes. People often, if you've kept reptile long enough, you've heard people say your snake is probably sizing you up. I don't believe that is a thing that actually happens in the wild. Snakes typically use their natural known abilities to figure out whether something is too big for them or not. Their Jacobson organ is also a big part of that. It is able to register whether there is something nearby that is actually big enough to eat or something that is big enough to actually harm them. So a snake doesn't actually have time to get up close and personal to its prey to line itself up and decide if it's something to eat, nor is its prey going to stick around and allow it to do so. So the old myth that snakes size up their prey is not necessarily true. In the occasion that there have been snakes found where they took on a prey that was too big for them, it was often fatal. So snakes typically have the sense to know not to take on prey that is going to be too big for them. So I really hope this video was able to shine just a little bit of light on how it is that these mysterious creatures with no hands, no arms, no feet are able to actually hunt their prey down, find it, kill it, eat it. Like, how do they do that? And I really hope that this video was able to just lay that all out, make it a little clearer for somebody who just hasn't got a clue and is one of the reasons why they fear snakes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys take care, love yourselves, love your loved ones, love your reptiles, and you guys keep spreading those herbs.